on the defensive side, and this social prediction continues to slip away from the French. But here in the United States of America, G2 look to do it in 2-0. Let's get into map 2! BDS caught sleeping on Cafe. It's time to get on their skis and wake up for map number 2. No second chances now. They will need to run the gauntlet, win here on Chalet, and take us to Nighthaven Labs to determine the outcome of this matchup. But G2, they have no such thing in mind. They're looking as calm as ever and keen to take this 2-0.
G2 will be the ones starting out on the attack this time around, though. Going into Chalet, I have a feeling they'll be pretty confident on it as well. It seems like, especially off the back of the last map, that G2 have really done some crazy prep work against what BDS are bringing. It didn't feel like BDS had any answers to the unpredictability that G2 brought.
But, however, the Dokkaebi has been taken down by BDS. We saw both teams use it to full effect on Cafe, and it is a relentless way of clearing those roamers. The Azami being taken down as well does leave a lot of these power positions exposed.
Yeah, that being said, but a lot of the really strong defense operators have still been left in. You've got your Solus, you've got your Fenrir, all these kinds of really strong tools that the defense can use on the side of BDS. Not just that, but I mean, all your walls now. Castle can still be a substitute a little bit, not quite for the Azami, but BDS have still got the tools that they need on the defense. Even
the potential for mirror windows, should they opt to go for it. Shaiko looking with the same expression on his face as we see every single round of every single game. He does not reveal much in his facial expressions. The opposite can be said for G2, and I tell you what, if you know these guys, you can tell that they are looking primed and ready. They are in their flow state, and they are focused and ready to take it in 2 maps.
Basement bomb site for BDS as they look to extend the map a little bit. In the aid of the castle, of course, he is going to create a safe haven over on the 2nd floor. It does look like they are extending their way all the way over inside of dining as well. So really, BDS, straight off the bat, holding on to a lot of the map. It's pretty ambitious what they're trying to do here, especially going down into the basement now. We've got a full repick on the side of G2 as well. Ram and Buck being picked out does make me think that G2 probably want to at least get some of a grip hold onto the vertical game.
With BDS being ambitious in their map control, if G2 are able to sneak in with the lurk and find isolated 1v1s, it could well collapse the entire defense for BDS. Already very swift. 20 seconds into the round, a breach on Snowmobile, Voltable. The main castle barricade on lobby, taken down. Options available for G2 in abundance.
Yeah, but that's just the site pressure. What else have G2 been able to do in this time? It seems like they've had a thought about the top floor, and actually Alamau's not just having a think, but is actually making his way in instead. He is the buck, and while there is a player rounding the corner of that's Leaky Pack who's been droned out.
Spray through the wall, almost finds his life as these G2 players look to hunt Leakafak. The Smoke, a player you want alive in the late round. Where has he gone to? Sneaking back onto the blue stairs. He's forfeited so much map control. Mandy, this push has been incredibly fast from G2.
Yeah, that's what happens when you bring Buck on Chalet, but some really nice shots in through the line of sight. Through dining does mean that it actually goes a 1-to-1 way trade between these two teams.
G2 should be happy with the 1-to-1 on Cafe. They continually forced early engagements to make these rounds in the late, very 2v2, very 3v3. That's how they want to play this game.
The main thing here is that it has forced back one layer of the onion of the defense for BDS. They now have to fall back in towards the bomb side. Who goes Leaky Fack, and the blue stairs holding this aggressive with the shotgun in hand. But now G2 have what they want, and that's the vertical pressure with the Ram and with the Buck. And they can really start to tear up the floor and then look for a conversion into the site from there.
All in good time though, looking for these roamers first. Making sure that there are none left and making sure that nobody can re-aggress up these stairs. But here comes the Ram. Activating the boogie. A C4 does take down the first one, but no player, which was surely the hopeful target for BDS, and the player, the floor is completely mincemeat. Uno finds the opener on the Shaiko from the bottom of main stairs as G2 are poised to take it.
They're looking to take this one. It's now or never for G2 with 40 seconds left to go, and the bomb site's so vacated by BDS, they can hit it, but Renshiro is there on the other side to meet them.
Oh, but amidst the fire, he is forced on back as Uno looks to force this diffuser down onto the ground. Doki separated from his squad. He is taken down by Breed A. And now a retake is forced by BDS, and the numbers are quality. As Uno jumps straight back outside, he amounts a very solid post-plant position. Virtue to clean up Breed A, and this feels, if anything, a formality. BDS look to stick it. Can Uno deny this in time? Renshiro, you can't be getting away with this! BDS! They've stolen the first round of Chalet!
Renshiro has absolutely thieved away that round from G2. Uno was in the perfect post-plant position with the hard recharge he'd set up with the firebolt, but it just missed. Renshiro, maybe he's a firefighter, but he stole that one away by getting the ninja defuse that G2 could have never expected.
G2 dominated the mental game in map number 1, but that has sure got to hurt the ego in map 2. BDS have a lot to talk about because strategically, G2 won that round, and then Renshiro stole it away from them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Renshiro on the dock was like, why be a doctor when you can be a firefighter? And he went his way on and through the fire and the flames, and he managed to get the defuse off and stole that one. Poor G2. I mean, they had that to a T. They did the roam clear to perfection, but at the last hurdle, they fell.
That's the energy that BDS will need more of throughout this series. Down a map, their own map. They got to choose defense here on Chalet, and they're showing us why. However, just one round in, there's so much still to play here, and like we said, Mandy, G2 look damn good on these attacks.
Yeah, and BDS as well on the defense, though on the other side. They have really assembled the superpowers of the defense. You've got the Mirror, the Fenrir, and the Solace all being picked up by members of BDS now. G2, they do have a bit of an answer for it. They have got the Twitch in the hands of Alamau. They've got the range hard reach they need to deal with some of those Mirror windows as well. It's just about whether G2 can actually land the utility clear that they need.
There's a lot of players to clear as well. Oh, here comes the Twitch drone from Alamau. Does he time it perfectly? Does he have the aim? He does! One Mirror window dismantled 35 seconds into the round. We love to see that for G2 fans. However, Doki going down without a fight was certainly not on your bucket list.
Bit brave there from Doki, hopping into the Mirror window of a Lems. That one not quite opened. Renshiro on the other side of his Mirror window there is though thinking, wait a second, that's open now. Uno though taking a bit of tussle of a player on the top floor. That's Leaky Pack, who's now going to fall back to the safety of the Mirror window in storage.
He really is trapped here in stock now. Benja, oh, he's caught in the crossfire. What was that communication? Renshiro was already holding that position, and he's just missed a second G2 player sneaking his way towards Bar. It is Alamau, and he's looking for one.
Alamau knows though, that Mirror window is open off, but he looks away, and Renshiro can behead him.
Very swiftly do G2 fall in this second round. Virtue, no diffuser, almost no HP to work with, and Renshiro cuts him down. 3 kills for one of the most experienced players in the game, for the oldest player at the tournament. He shuts everyone down on the back of his ninja diffuse. He's sending G2 a message.
BDS playing a very disciplined game through the mid-round. They know that G2 want to make that incision into the map somewhere, and they know that they have the safety of the Mirror windows. They're watching all the possible entry points as G2 try to cut their way in straight through the ground floor. They really cut corners there, I feel, on the defense that BDS had brought to the table.
It's the exact start that BDS needed to bring that momentum back in their favor. However, from G2, they look to flip that momentum now with a tactical timeout. 3 rounds into the game. Now with their new coach, Romalio, formerly of FaZe, the most sought-after coach in Rainbow Six, surely they have what they need to turn this around.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. This guy is by far and away the most strong strategic coach, I would say, in the scene at the moment. G2 have said some pretty high praises about this guy, and who do you want to listen to in a tactical timeout? It's definitely that guy.
There's no doubt about it. Romalio will need to whip his kids into shape and get G2 back onto it. Because, I mean, the first round was so good until the final dying moments in that post plant. The second round was abysmal from the get-go for G2, and that will have built a lot of confidence into BDS. The onus now on G2 to flip this on its head and start taking some attack round wins. We're on Chalet. This is one of the more attacker-sided maps in the pool. G2 should be pretty comfortable here.
Well, I think the thing is, Dev, it sort of doesn't matter what map it is these days. Even the attacker-sided ones in history have now become defender-sided with the current meta. G2 really need to dial this one back, put some respect on the defense that BDS have brought up and actually try and problem solve it. It does seem like that is what they're going to do. We've got a full switch off the roam clearing operators and your entry operators, and all of them have gone this self-sufficient utility to try and help with the clear. We've got the range hard breach, double range hard breach on Uno and on Virtue to try and clear the mirror windows. Alamau as well with the Twitch drone is going to make them worry about that. Benja even has jumped onto the Flores to clear out any of the Fenrir gadgets, that type of thing that is indestructible to bullets. And so G2 really want to cut down on the pacing there, take it slow and break it down.
And in goes that Twitch drone once again for Alamau. Bomb site is down in bar, which means that a pivotal part of this defense remains above in Library. We see the Wamai of Leakafak holding that position at the moment. He sends out a Diz. He goes for an aggressive peek, but a player repelling. Doki opens the equation, and that's a very, very early player to lose for BDS.
Brave from Leakafak as well. He could have made us fall off work through the hatch, but instead tried to go for the peak, but G2 are ready for that. Rensura on the other side has just heard his mirror window shatter right next to him, and that means Alamau has successfully taken that one down. Brede, though, he wants to support his teammate from down below.
Very good start here for G2. It goes bad to worse for BDS. Doki's found his second. Alems finally gets one back in his favor. Virtue's gone down. That's the hard breach as well, but not the diffuser. Uno can still support with those X-Kairos, but the real travesty here for BDS is this map control! And I was going to say the numbers, but Shaiko's brought that back in their favor.
Alamau being caught in the Shadow Realm over inside of lobby. He's got to back his way on out, trying to go for the reflag on the player inside of Dining, but not quite landing it. Shaiko on the other side with the 1x. He's been absolutely lethal in this round, but Bride's been taken down.
A swift entry for G2 might bring it back, and Alems goes down as well. If you blink, you miss it. G2 do not hesitate. They swing into action and convert their tactical timeout into a round win.
Good pivot there from G2. They had the top control that they needed, but off the back of Shaiko getting his own 2 picks and bringing the man advantage back to even, G2 had to dial it back for a moment, get some drones in, and have a think about the defense, the attack that they wanted to amount. And the moment that they got the pick onto Bride inside the bomb site, it was go time for them. They jumped in on it straight away and closed out the round.
And that may well have switched the momentum here for G2. They know that if they play a very spry game, very eager to capitalize on a singular window, look for a site opportunity and send it, that can catch BDS off guard. It looks like, if I'm not wrong, we may end up going back to that same bomb site. And I think that BDS have a lot of things to take away from that round. Too many players, too early on, falling victim to over-aggression, gifting G2 opportunities. And that's the last thing you want to do.
That being said, I really liked the approach that G2 took to that round. They put some respect on the defense of BDS and actually took their time to sit back and problem solve it and tear it apart. And it looks like G2 are once again bringing along the same formula going back into this re-attempt at the bomb site as well. Doki's even re-picked up onto the Grim as well to make that position in the corner of Library even harder to play in for the player that's there, but actually Renshu's fallen off it completely. They've completely reinforced the Library hatch actually, so BDS, even though they're going back to the same bomb site, they have changed up their strategy quite significantly.
Yeah. Forcing G2 now to adapt. G2 failed to clear this map control from where Renshiro and Shaiko are playing now in the prior round, but this Library presence has been gifted to them.
That being said, Library is not a safe haven for the attack. It's a false sense of security, right? You've got Shaiko in here with the shield in the hallway and the line of sight going inside a Library. So even though Doki just got in, he's jumped straight back out because he's realized what's going on. Alamau on the other side is at least going to try and get a cutoff over on this side of the map inside of Fluke Double, but is not going to find anything just yet. Shaiko's safe where he is, but I wonder what Benja's doing, right? He's the one with the Rotero drones, and if there's anyone that could clear the shields, surely it would be the Flores.
He's yet to use any of them, however. You look at the setup from BDS and you'd think it was a master defense, but no, in fact, it's his bar. And now that G2 have realized the lack of control from BDS, it seems like they may be changing tack. They have no interest in clearing that top floor pressure from BDS.
So they realize that, yes, library has been given away to them, but they can't enter. So what are they going to do instead? Turn their attention in towards the bomb site. See if they can find a hole in the ground floor rather than a hole in the top floor. And that's where Alamau's drone is getting his way on in, and he's going to try and cut down on the player inside of Dining and afford G2 the control they need in the ground floor.
Well, the Grim has tempted out something from G2 near the site. Benja's fallen into a goo mine as Uno makes his way forward. Is this how G2 look to make it work? Aggressive and straight into sight for Uno, who has that diffuser in his clutches. Caught amidst the Fenrir's gas, though. He will have to try and hold on, but he's one of the last players left for G2. As BDS have retaken to perfection, Uno can cover his own backside, but not before Shaiko makes it a 1v1. Can he close it? One of the greatest players in the game. But Uno back on G2 does not let that slide.
And Uno was the opportunity maker there for G2 in the absence of the top floor control that they were initially looking for. The tentative conclusion that Uno had was, hang on a second, I can jump in through the dungeon window and get straight on into the bomb site, with Alamau covering him as well from the lobby double, making sure that no one could take him on the cross as he went into the bomb site. He took down the one player he needed and the Fenrir gadgets to then get the plant down and close it out for his team in the post.
And this is exactly what they were talking about on the desk. When you have a star-studded roster, the best fraggers of all of these amazing teams of the past, and you put the 5 of them together on G2, what do you get? You get Uno, this support player carrying that diffuser who can frag out for 2 kills in a clutch when he's needed.
G2 have had a bit of a cycle through that 5th man through 2023. After lifting the hammer at SI, they actually dropped Blur and they went between Gemini and eventually they landed on Uno, and I feel like it's that 5th piece of the puzzle that they've needed to solve their play style and make sure that they have this one reliable old guard doing the right thing, looking for the opportunities, and being comfortable on the supporting role where the rest of the players can frag their way on out.
Well, Mandy, the game opened, the map opened with 2 rounds straight from BDS, and now G2 have done the same back. Does put the pressure way back onto the French to bring this back. And going down to the basement is a scary prospect in my eyes. G2 had a phenomenal attack onto this bomb site. BDS only barely won it to Renshiro's Ninja Diffuse heroics.
Alamau's having a look in through the top floor to start things out, and he has seen the rotation hole here, so he knows that there is a bit of a presence inside a closet that's Leakyfac on the other side. He's also in support of his teammate Shaiko over inside of Mezzanine as well, so Alamau's got to be careful on his entry into the building.
I love the way that the rotate hole has been made. So there's a tiny lip at the bottom, forcing the drone to jump and reveal its position should it pass through. Leakyfac finds it. Alamau's looking for an entry on the bark. Leakyfac, he's feeling all kinds of pressure. Caught in the crossfire, Doki hunts him down.
Oh, but Shaiko's going in for the refrag. With the death of his teammate, he wants to claim one back, and he gets revenge onto Alamau.
And now G2 will look to hunt him. Benja coming in from Library. Doki on the opposite side of the map, they look to pinch together, but he's fallen off. Shaiko has escaped G2's clutches and fallen back to side.
It's a great time sink. Not only that, but he's also taken down the Bucks. So one of the 2 of the vertical operators that G2 had previously when they went in for this attack. They only have the Ram now of Virtue to rely on full vertical control. Now, I think that's enough. It probably should be with 3 Mars rovers on the ground. Surely he can sample enough of the floor, but he's on the other side of the map. G2 are dialing it back right now through the mid-round, setting up the flank drones, making sure that they are safe in the top 2 floors for now.
This feels slow by G2 standards. BDS have completely forfeited the map, and yet G2 have not yet confirmed it. As they look to get this vertical play going, losing the bark forces Benja to use some of his breaching rounds, but he can't secure a kill on the back of it. Shaiko lives to fight another day. Doki rotates in. He has the hard breach to open up this con hatch, and elsewhere he's managed to use his bees to get some information on side. Spots a lens. There's Benja for 1, and a numbers back in G2's favor.
Yeah, now with the 4-on-3 numbers advantage, G2 are going to look to convert this one, but the bravery of the BDS players is relentless. Even though the vertical pressure has come through, Shaiko is still running a havoc down in the bomb site. G2 need to take their time to plan out this execute phase well, but they can only go for it once. Oh, look at that from BDS. A double retake through the blue stairs.
And Shaiko's found one to drop down the hatch for Benja Master. But it's just him and Doki now. Bride low HP. Benja's caught out from the player in blue. The trade back again. It is relentless. Bride to clutch the 1v1. Back-to-back 1v1s. Likafak exhibiting all kinds of stress. I don't blame you, mate. BDS, though, have taken the lead once again.
Really nice stuff there from BDS. I feel like the fruits of the early round were really played out into the late round there. As soon as the vertical pressure came in through G2, it was good, but it wasn't enough. And then by the time that the time had ticked away to about 20-25 seconds left to go, BDS had already repositioned into all the blind spots on the vertical and were ready to take the engagements as they came in onto the bomb site. Shaiko in particular, sitting right at the bottom of the main stairs going down into the basement, was so ready for the fight and the onslaught to come through that he could take them down.
G2, I don't know whether there's cause for concern here, but they are looking slower, Mandy, and I think we're starting to see the downside of lacking that Dokkaebi. BDS, they banned it out. They themselves love to use it, as did G2. If Shaiko had a logic bomb, he would certainly not have been able to go for that aggressive peak. But G2, they are adaptable, and they are so spry. Benja brought that back. Same can be said for Doki in those dying moments, almost winning the 1v1. Doki won his clutch to win the first map, but he couldn't win it to take the lead here on the second.
BDS as well looking really solid in their final defending round. I'm going to take us over to Kitchen. Over on the ground floor, it looks like they have extended their way out horizontally over into games as well. Two players there. Leaky back, actually. It looks like he's ready to jump out of the library window, I believe it is. Yeah, right on it. Ready for the entry to come through from G2.
Claymore's being placed by G2. Don't over-aggress. Do so at your own risk. Likafak's so keen to peek this, though. Upside down rappel is nigh impossible to contest. On the other side of it, he looks for the player. Likafak, very ambitious, but Uno's waiting and can easily take him down. Another gifted early pick by Likafak.
G2 had to read on that one. Uno in particular. If there is any difference maker, if there is any playmaker on the defense for BDS, it is going to be Likafak, and he is the one looking for the opportunities to take one-to-one gunfights, but that time around, Uno was ready for it.
The top floor has been forfeited by BDS, allowing G2 to roll on in with those Mars Rovers, and Doki to find one onto Bride as well. You're talking about plays, Mandy. Well, keep an eye out for Alems. As the E1D locks him in place, there's some information. But Alems needs to land this. He's so patient. He's in the hallway, just waiting. Benja is aware, though.
Ooh, Renshiro, though, he's been able to afford himself a little bit more room, wiggle room inside the bomb site to send out one more C4 in through the vertical now. These Mars Rovers, they can only claim so much of the floor, and so Alamau's going to have to come in, supplementary soft breach to open up a little bit more and make sure that the players on the bomb site are well and truly dislodged. But Alems is making his move.
Oh, he still hasn't been dealt with. There's a drone, but it's not lit up. As he rounds the corner, he's good for one. A second one tags him on his way out, but it is not enough to breathe a sigh of relief for G2. Alems looks for a second, dancing with death! He finds Doki! It's all up to Uno now, rappelling on inside. He finds the first. Renshiro's the last one left, and G2 know full well Alems has been downed above, and this plant may well be forced. Renshi does not have a C4, and he's gonna have to run a marathon to get back to 1 versus 1 and retake against Uno. He runs straight on through. He's gonna go pick up Alems. He's gonna go to save his teammate. There's barely any time for this, Mandy.
Oh, Uno's got it, though. He's gone up to the top floor as well. He's had to think, okay, the vertical pressure is there for him, and he wants to make use of that territory as well. Alems is definitely going to bleed on out here. There's no way. But Renshiro's just around the corner. Are they going to meet each other?
Time favors Uno, but fortune favors the brave, and Renshiro made such a brave play. I think he may have made the wrong play as he desperately looks around the corner. He does a bit of damage. Uno is going to get him. G2 is going to steal another round. 1v3 from Uno. Cool, calm, collected. and closing the half, even on the scoreboard.
And where the rest of his team had fallen around him, Uno knew that he could close that one out. He had the diffuser in hand and the one kill onto the one player that was actually defending the bomb site. He absolutely beheaded him, jumped his way on in, got the bomb down, and Ranchero had completely vacated the bomb site with the presence of the vertical onto his position and forced him into a retake that Uno played to perfection. He played the time so well and even closed it out with a pick of his own.
Uno stepped up hugely in that round. The game was over. After Alems found his early pick, you thought it was surely done. But in the dying moments, there was an opportunity, and Uno said, I will take that opportunity. Desperate, you usually write those rounds off, but when it's Uno, you certainly can't. Wow, some nuts shots from Alems. Uno timed this perfectly. He used his util perfectly. And he closed the rounds. Now we move into the second half. G2 fans are once again given something to cheer for. Here in Atlanta, BDS need 4 more rounds to send us to map 3, but G2 need the same to propel themselves into a semi-final.
G2 as well, they're going to take us over to the Master and Office bomb site. We didn't see BDS do this at all on their half.
No, we didn't. A dangerous bomb site to go for at the high level of competitive play. Very common in ranked and in lower levels of comp, but as soon as you go to that world-class level of Rainbow Six, only daring teams take this top floor bomb site. G2, well, they're one of the most daring teams you can find, but Likafak has snuck his way inside. No grenades on the Yana, so no vertical capability, but he does have potential to cause havoc.
That being said, 2 of his teammates do have grenades. Finka, being gifted her set at the moment, is going to send some in through the floor. That's Shaiko to try and burn one onto the position inside of Mezzanine.
Wow.
Doesn't connect quite onto LML though. It takes a little bit of its HP out, but not down. Oh, that goes Leaky back in through the vertical. He lands a couple shots onto Virtue as well, who will put some down in return, but doesn't quite connect them.
It's a devilish dance for BDS. Into the map, but not with any substantial control as Shaiko finally takes down Alamau. With that, should he get the information, Mezzanine is clear, and he's free to jump inside. Doki is still prevalent on this roam, and this drone has also been spotted. He's going to make his way around and try and dodge that position. You can see that it's not lit up. He knows this is his moment. Oh, Lems is going to walk straight into Doki's waiting arms.
Oh man, Doki's just absolutely assassinated Lems there on the basement entry, but the rest of BDS don't seem too phased by it so far. Shaiko is going to head the attack on the entry, is making his way in, all the way in through the glass cabinet hallway, but the time is certainly starting to tick away as they make their way in around the bomb site. It is Master and Office, of course, and Bride. Well, they don't actually have any hard reach on their side, so if they want to go for the main wall, they can't. What are they going to do here, our BDS? They need to come up with a game plan to get themselves inside of the bomb site without actually working the wall.
Oh, Virtue, this is dangerous. He was flashed for a brief moment. That flash may have saved a life or two, and he forfeits his own, re-peeking now. Uno goes down. It is up to Doki and Uno the Mirror, but Uno's been finished off. 2 players remain for BDS to lock in this round, but guess who it is on defense? It's Doki. He's got this gadget, the perfect utility you need! 1 impact finds nothing! The bed, a safe haven for Bride. But HP not in abundance. A second impact! Doki, you've got to be kidding me! Doki is a beast that cannot be tamed! Plenty of time for G2 to secure the round! This guy's a hero!
And what an impact through this floor as well from Doki. He just anticipated the game sense on this guy to just send an impact through the floor onto some random spot inside of Solar, and bang, there's a low HP Bride taken down. And he can claim that one back with a crazy 1 versus 2 comeback.
That's payback for round 1 troll, he says in the old chat. You guys can't see that. But man, I tell you what, BDS, there's got to be some fire spit between these players at the moment. How many rounds have been close, Mandy? We've had 2 1 versus 1s. 1 has gone in favor of either team. And then the last 2 rounds in a row. Uno with the 1v3 clutch. Doki with the 1v2 clutch. G2 keep pulling these rounds out of their ass, and BDS have no response.
It is by the smallest margins that separate these two teams in this map. You can never call the round early, Dev. You never know what is going to happen because anything could turn it on a dime.
G2 have now taken the lead in this second half. A round that they really shouldn't have won, but as you said, you can never count them out. BDS, my concern for them is how much of a toll does this take on the mental? They are yet to take their tactical timeout. G2 took theirs very early on in the game after losing the first 2 rounds, and it netted them the next 2 rounds in a row. So clearly, Romalio has had a profound impact on G2, converting this momentum back into their favor. Why has Stuflex not done the same there?
Let BDS figure this one out for themselves for a little bit longer. It's only 1 round lead that G2 have got for now. They're not running away with it just yet. The bomb site this time around is over in Dining and Kitchen, and it does look like G2 have extended their way over in through the top floor, but not out too far inside of Library. On the other side though, BDS on the attack are having a think about a more direct take. They're not sweeping across the map, but instead are trying to get themselves in close towards the bomb site to see what grenades they can sail on through and look for those untraded picks.
The key here for BDS is not to be scared. Oh, that's frustrating for Shaiko, struggling to take down that castle barricade. It's a fickle affair. Alamau finds an aggressive peek, the impact surely to secure it, but it falls flat. Doki off aggressive jump out elsewhere does secure the kill, but that opens the door for Leakafact to find his way straight into sight. Alamau comes back to save the day, it seems. Leakafact's found a double. But G2 are incessant, and they continue to fight for this bomb site control.
BDS trialing it back as well. Uno on the other side has an in through the hatch, but just on the other side of that as well is Renshiro on the double window, and if Uno steps too far out, surely he's going to be taken down. Okay, maybe not. Renshiro's actually just fallen off of that position, and that means that Uno's safe for now, but the vertical control is still in the hands of him. And that's going to be dangerous as BDS rendezvous over inside of Trophy and try and make their way into the bomb site.
And this is the danger zone for BDS. Oh, excellent usage of an exothermic from Leakafact. Forces Alamau into an exposed position, but he has not been spotted. He lurks around the corner in the shadows, biding his time, waiting for the sound cue. But he has no clue where these players from BDS are. Leakafact playing incredibly passively. Virtue's low HP as well, though. The door has once again been left open for BDS.
This is dangerous though. Renshiro has to keep these vertical players at bay because otherwise the diffuser cannot walk his way in the bomb site.
No.
There goes Breeday to make his way on in, but Virtue's there for the trade.
Leakafact needs to find his kill. Renshiro gets aggressive and finishes off what's left of Virtue. Guess who's on side for G2? After 2 clutches in a row, it's up to Slim Shady to make quick work of this round. Alamau can play it patient, he can hide in the corner knowing full well BDS must make the first move! But Alamau, he may well get the last laugh. Shotgun! He does it again! G2 will never be silenced!
And Alamau can take care of business. In the dying seconds of the round, BDS looked to pivot over in the top floor, but they forgot that Alamau could run havoc on the bomb site, and with the absence of the intel going in, they left it to his own device, and he closed it out on the 1-on-2.
Well, after 3 clutches in a row, we've got Titan, G2's analyst, back on the line. Titan, how are you feeling about this game?
It's much closer than we maybe initially anticipated it would be, but we expected it to be sort of like a give-and-go kind of map, 1 round each for each team. Realistically, I mean, you show the quality of the players that we have on our team, the ability to clutch, the ability to keep their cool when they need to. Doki, Carl, Uno, everybody is stepping up right now for us, the team.
And so if these clutches stop happening, is there cause for concern for G2? Are you relying on these clutches, or are you confident in these players' abilities aside from that?
If the clutches stop, it's fine, it's okay. Realistically, what we're seeing here after timeout from Romalio is a slight change and alteration in the way that we play. We're taking it more of sort of like a individual round-by-round basis rather than anything in terms of preparation work or assumptions, and the knock-on effect of that is just simply the players are able to sort of make these closer rounds and slower.
And what are you thinking about BDS in their current form?
I mean, they're doing better on this map than the last one. They've got another round, they're making it closer, but still a bit disappointing.
Okay, thank you very much, Titan. Disappointed. Not a word I expected to hear from the analysts of a team who is, frankly, smashing their opposition.
Surprising. I mean, maybe Titan just knows something that we clearly do not. I mean, he is the analyst, he is the expert, but between the two of us, I was expecting a pretty close match and a tight one between these two.
I see you.
Shaiko may well find the opener. No, he can't get the kill. Oh, frustrating. Doki's fallen on back. And Doki's, in fact, re-aggressed and found his head. Devastation once again for BDS, but there is a trade of sorts. Liquefact lucky he used his Adrenal Surge. He's looking to get aggressive. He might find an opportunity here as BDS goes straight into the meat grinder. Virtue traded finally, but it's not going to be enough for BDS. Alems, the captain, 1v3. Can we see the heroics from him that we've seen from G2? 3 rounds now in a row.
Very little HP though for Alems.
Incredibly low HP. But he must be patient. He might have the read, he might have the info, he might have heard both of these players from G2. Nobody needs to make a move. A faked C4, ripped for Uno, a stun, and a peek now. The opportunity open! But the door smashes closed on his face. Uno once again stepping up for G2.
Yeah, BDS, they're trying to cut their way straight into the bomb site, having seen the roam game being played by G2. But on the other side of that was a very cheeky Uno over inside of Connector, completely shutting them down on their push on their way in. And that's going to force BDS to take their tactical timeout and have a rethink about what they're going to do next.
Taking their tactical timeout at 6-3 down. Match point, series point, elimination point, and saying goodbye to Six Invitational. For BDS, it does not get much worse than this. Stuflex has to make good on this minute that he gets with his roster because there's no second chances now. This is 3 match points in a row for G2.
And the problem here for G2 as well is they're in exactly the right mindset to close this one out as well. Typically once you get onto match point, I don't know, sometimes players get really nervous, right? Sometimes they don't go in for those aggressive plays that they normally would because you don't want to make a mistake. But G2, the current mindset that they're in is just exuding confidence against BDS, who just haven't quite looked as good, even in the second map.
And it's so many heroic plays from G2 that steal it away. A lack of refrag in Virtue's position, a valiant attempt by Alems. But G2 once again show their mettle. Is there anything left in it for BDS? That's my question on the back of that tactical. They need to get themselves on their feet in this game. Because we've barely seen a shade of the BDS that won a major in Sweden a year ago.
Well, they have to do it now. It's now or never for BDS. This is map point and series point for G2. If they don't come back from here, it is over. G2, they're going to take us over to what is potentially the final defense of the series over in Office and Master. They're looking to extend themselves over horizontally, a little bit over inside of a library, but all not too much.
And Doki finds an opening kill once again on the same goddamn window that he spawn picked Shaiko previously. Is there anything left in it for BDS? Where are they? They've fallen asleep. They're letting G2 run all over them.
It's looking pretty grim now for BDS. Haven't lost the spearhead of their attacks. It's Shaiko, the entry player that's been oh so consistent for them, that has been taken down now twice by Doki, who's been absolutely the bane of this game. This is his series. 12-7 now is the scoreline for him as he tries to make it even better. Look at how much caution BDS are exercising now. Rensho's all the way out, essentially in spawn.
Swapping mags!
Scared for BDS, perhaps. For G2, though, calm, collected, no reason to over-aggress. Perfectly technical. No fire that will burn too bright.
Bomb has been located.
BDS, the move is on them, and G2 can simply wait.
Ben just got to vacate his position, having felt the vertical pressure from down below, but he's found a safe haven inside the hallway. Meanwhile, on the other side, BDS is having a look in onto the bomb site to see what he can find, and Benja can claim one back onto Alems. That was a player down in the basement, but here goes Leaky back in through the other side of the map.
BDS players fall one by one. A nice nade from Renshiro, but Benja has relocated from that position already. And still, G2 can simply wait. This is desperation. You see that from Renshiro. No information, desperate. Leakafak looking for an early pick, but G2's not peeking him as of yet. As I say that, he gets poorly timed, and Doki might be able to swipe him away.
Great discipline here from G2. The only person looking for a peek has been Doki, but here goes Renshi on his entry in. Really nice stuff there from Leakafak, from Renshi, and from Bride. All three players have lit the spark for BDS and have brought it back.
The fire is still alive for the French. Benja 1v3, but you can never count out G2. Could it be another clutch? How many have we seen? Too many to count. BDS, oh, hold your horses. Benja is ready to take the ones. The diffuser is down, but the Dane must 1v2.
He's looking for it, but BDS are not giving it to him.
And so he will wait. Move up slowly. Isolate these 1v1s. He has the information on Renshiro. He looks to get aggressive. Renshi's ready. He baits out the swing from Bride, but nothing as of yet from BDS. They will not give him an opportunity. And they will close the door back on his face again. BDS are not done yet. The first of 3 match points has been staved off, but it is a long mountain that they must climb to push us onto map 3.
BDS still want to be part of the conversation. And that 5 versus 3 could change the dialogue. All 3 BDS players finding their pick all at the same time onto the G2 players who, just as I said, were playing the discipline game, actually all went for their own peak onto the remaining 3 players, and BDS able to claw that one back.
Fresh on desk, what a chance. Former G2 analyst himself. Now we get to use that big brain on our broadcast, lucky us. For BDS, if you're a BDS fan right now, man, do they need you? Yeah, they do. 2 more to push overtime, and even then, the job is not done. In fact, it's barely started. Nighthaven Labs could be our decider. Titan was ever so confident about this map veto. He told us just a couple of rounds ago, he was in disbelief that BDS would shake G2 on these maps. And, well, with the result, I can't blame him for the confidence. G2 may be cocky, but you can't blame them if they're so dominant.
Another match point stands between BDS though and G2 as they really want to close out this one swiftly. Back down inside of Dining and Kitchen, G2 have sent us to, and it looks like they are looking for an extension over in the top floor. Shield is going to prevent the entry in through Lyrie, making sure it's not safe to traverse in through the map on a sweep. Pretty similar actually to what BDS brought on their defense as well. They might find a taste of their own medicine.
Here comes the Gon 6, clearing out that castle barricade. Good options opened now for BDS, but Benja is still happy to peek it.
BDS want to keep their options open here. They have turned their attention very much in towards the Solar side. There are 4 players having a look at on that. Renshiro as well is looking for the pinch all the way over inside of Office to make that entry work too. Oh, but that's shut down completely. Uno with the super shorty is going to take it straight onto Renshiro, the only player there, and it goes untraded.
A big pick for G2, but another one! Bride finally opens the equation for BDS. Shaiko's in a great position as well. Alems looking to hunt down Alamau, who's already stolen his teammate, and he finds the kill. Back to a numbers even. Shaiko finds his kill onto Benja, but goes down for his trouble. He gets for the self-revive, but he will be punished. Doki on the bomb site. Him and Virtue must hold this down.
Bees will ring out of the Grim of Bride, but that allows Alems just safety inside this top floor, knowing that player has now fallen off. They have been afforded the vertical control that they want in onto the bomb site. But these 2 players of G2 have very much vacated it. Virtue's all the way down inside of the basement, and Doki is the last one left on the bomb site without a C4 in his hands. If they've got time to make this vertical game work, they can make sure that Doki vacates his position. But will Bride be able to secure the kill as he makes his way on out? Oh, few shots taken, but not out.
13 kills for Doki so far, looking for a 14th, he finds it! Bride up against the worlds. This has been a game of clutches. but so frequently, it's G2, the name on our lips.
Tough spot now for BDS. He's going to be met by the resistance on the other side.
And the calls to send BDS home ring out here in Atlanta. BDS looking for the head that he cannot find. G2 hold firm on this crossfire. Could this be it for BDS? A bit of damage. I'm sweaty, G2 fans, get ready! Raise your katanas, the world champs are back in the semifinals.
And in such dominant fashion, 2-0 between the two titans of EU. G2 make the better of them.
And in such dominant form, 7-2, 7-4, Doki farming as usual, and Uno looking like the magic ingredient this roster needed. G2 unfallible as ever. They have broken the curse of Copenhagen.